What's going on, Kinfollllk? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the City podcast. It's your favorite Kinfollllk, Keone G, a.k.a. Mr. Key to the City, a.k.a. Little Big Man, a.k.a. Get It How You Live, a.k.a. That's that boy, man. Call me whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me Collect. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting the podcast, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, whatever you've been doing, man. We sure appreciate it. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Hey, man, we're going to ride with you. Appreciate everybody that voted us as a finalist on Best of Jackson. We didn't win, but we were one of the finalists. And also, we are moving into a new studio space. So around March 21st or something like that, we will be recording with a whole new background and just a whole new vibe, man, and I can't wait. I wish my guest today, we could have had her in the official studio, but hopefully she'll be back after today. And just like with our last episode, this episode is no different. We're going to keep hitting you in your head with quality content and quality guests. I'm grateful to have this young lady on the platform with us today. I actually met her during Jackson Indie Music Week. She was on one of the panels, the Many Moons panel, which was a women's panel, just speaking about women in the entertainment industry. We'll find out more about that. And I was just really intrigued about what she had to say, her journey thus far. We're going to find out a little bit more about her background and just how her path has been thus far. So I'm super excited to find out more about her. So y'all sit down, grab a seat. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kinfollllk. Welcome to the city. Our new Kinfollllk, Fallon Victoria. What's going on, Queen?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad you finally made it through. How your day going?
It's going well. I was a little tired, but I'm.
A little tired. Well, somebody in your position should always be tired. Seem like you always have a lot going on. Yeah. But I want to give my audience a little bit of background on you before we get into what it is you really do. Where are you originally from?
Jackson, Mississippi.
The Jack.
Jacktown.
Straight out the Jack. Born and raised?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually grew up in Georgetown.
Okay.
Yeah.
She a certified Jacktown Jew. Do not play with her. What about schooling?
So I went to Provine High School.
Rams.
Let me go all the way back. Pecan Park Elementary School.
Wow.
Blackburn Middle School.
Wow.
Provine High School. So I had did a little moving around. My mom lived in West Jackson.
Okay.
That's how I ended up at like Provine and all the West Jackson schools. But yeah.
All right. At college?
Jackson State University.
The I love.
University. Got my bachelor's from there. Got my master's from Belhaven. I'm actually working on dissertation at Jackson State right now.
Wow, you gotta love a smart black queen, man. Always on the grind. How you? Speaking of Jackson State, what do you think about the just the recent changes around the football team and all the exposure it's brought to the city?
I'm so excited about that. Like my heart is glad and full about that. Just to see. It's been years in the making. Like I have people that I know who, were in the band or played football, when I was there. Mm-hmm. And so just to see what it is now versus when I was there, which, we were lit when I was there.
Right.
But it deserves that. Right. And I'm happy to see it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was lit during your time, but now they're actually winning.
Yes.
So that
wait. Wait a minute.
We were around the same age, so
yeah.
Was that 2008?
Yeah, I graduated from Jackson State in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so we was a little struggle, but yeah.
I don't know if I was keeping up with them then, but they doing big things now. So shout out to the whole squad, Coach Prime and all them boys. So media, artist management, CEO of the Difference Group. Was this the path you saw all along, or when did you become inspired to take the path of media management, artist management, and the whole entertainment industry all together?
I don't know. Let me just go back to the beginning. My parents, without giving too many details, my mom was an artist.
Dope.
She put out an album in the 80s, like right before she had me. And then my father owned a record label, and she was the artist. So
wow.
I kind of get, and I think it's just in me. I've always been around some form of music all of my life, because even when my mom wasn't performing and doing shows, my mom and my aunts had a group. And so I had to take piano lessons because they were like, you gonna play the piano for us. So,
wow.
We had like a mini Jackson 5 type thing going
Right.
on, of course, of gospel. But we did that. My brother played the drums. I ended up learning how to play the drums too. So I played the drums at Proline in the band, and I actually played set for
wow.
years. Don't ask me to play now.
Okay. Okay.
I could sing a little bit, but my passion more so has always been writing. So I kind of got into wanting to write songs like 20s.
Okay.
And the first song that I actually contributed to was For Washington's debut single, which is not out anymore because, we rebranded and did all that stuff. But it was called Choose You. And they had some some songs that they have not released yet. I contributed to those, and I've actually written and recorded some demos that I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with right now. So.
That is so dope, man. What type of music did your mom do?
She did. If you that early 80s pop sound, it's kind of
like some Dionne Warwick, some
let's say it slips my mind. What's the name of that song? If you think of like, I'm not sure if this was 80s or 90s, but voice-wise, what it reminded me of is that Michelle, like something in my heart.
Yeah.
Voice-wise.
Something in my heart.
But it's another song, and it slips me. Hopefully it'll come back. But it went along with that. And so I was so inspired by my mom, who is no longer with us, but she could make her voice sound like any era.
Right.
Any situation. Like, she could give you the stomp down gospel. Aretha Franklin, but then she can give you some soft, light-hearted, fun pop, and you would think it's like 2 or 3 different people, and it's the same person.
Dope. Yeah. Rest in peace to moms. Your daughter is definitely shining. So, why didn't you not pick up the singing part and gravitated more towards the writer?
I think that my gift with music, I feel like I'm more in shape to help develop folks.
Okay.
But with my personality, I don't like being on stage. So I'll sing a song, but if you ask me to come perform it, I'm probably like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I would put a song out anonymously. I said I might do that, just so I won't get asked to come perform the song because I'm way too shy for that. I would sing at church, all the time, but just singing for a different purpose, that's a little bit different.
I don't even get a shy vibe from you, but I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like an extroverted introvert.
Yeah, I'm extroverted when I have to be. But at the core of me, I'm definitely an introvert. Like when COVID happened and they said we shutting down, I'm like, word, okay.
Right. Now, speaking of For Washington, which is an outstanding, young, hot, urban, contemporary, are they considered gospel?
No, not anymore. They're actually pop.
Okay.
Yeah, they like to do some R&B, but mainly pop.
Very dope. I had the pleasure of seeing them perform at Jackson Indie Music Week at the Icon Award show. Kids are very talented. How did you link up with them?
At the Jackson Medical Mall. So I didn't mention that's my day job. I work for the Medical Mall Foundation as Chief Planning and Strategy Officer. But before that, I was doing some independent contract work as a communications and marketing PR person. And I was just volunteering. I had a performing arts program called Sing Jackson.
Okay.
And because I've just, I worked with youth pretty much my whole life, adult life. And I saw them. I'm like, oh, they're talented, And so I think it was the Medical Mall's 20th anniversary. I had the chance to produce a show with Joe and Ricky Smiley and Rita Brent. And their mom came and asked me would I manage Carmen.
Okay.
So that's how it started. But all of them come to the meeting. They're so tight. Like, you have siblings, but you don't always see the sibling bond. They're bonded. Like
Dope. They're
joined at the hip. So everywhere one goes, except, now, but younger, they were all there. So they came to the meeting and they were just humming, And so I was like, what are y'all going to do with the group? Because they had been a group.
Right.
And at first they were kind of like, well, we'll just, we'll see, but the main thing is we want to sit back and support Carmen and see where it goes, and we'll probably jump back in at some point in time. And so we opted to go with the group. Started with Carmen, and then we started with the group as well.
Right.
And the group really took off because it was so special, because I'm like, it's 2 girls, it's 2 guys, y'all are young, it's cute, but y'all have a gift though. And so we just took that route, got them some vocal coaching. I started doing vocal coaching for them earlier on, and I said, you know what? Y'all already can sing better than me, so you need somebody better
right.
to make you better. So I handed them to Darius Brown, and he worked wonders with taking what they already had and just sharpening it. He did an amazing job.
Man, what goes into like the everyday life of an artist manager? 24 hours of an artist manager. Because people mostly only see, what's produced when they perform, but behind the scenes, I'm sure it can get a little chaotic.
Yeah. It's really managing personalities, managing goals and expectations.
Okay.
And so the thing was, like, where do you see yourself at the end of this? Who do you want to be?
Okay.
And because they were so young, it took a while for them to figure it out. But I did not want to force a brand or throw a brand on them like most record companies do, because, they'll know what sells. But I'm like, what are you going to be happy with at the end of the day? When you go home at night, I want you to be able to smile and say, we did this, and this is something that we developed together. So earlier on, it was more so branding. So they were identified as like the Washington family, the Washington kids, what people just called them whatever.
Right.
And so I'm like, we need a name. And I'm like, y'all remind me of the Jackson 5, but we don't want to say the Washington 5. I'm like, let's say for Washington. Not just because it's 4 of you, but you all are so for each other. You're so down for the cause of your family.
So you brought that name to them?
Yes.
Dope.
And they embraced it. Now, we may do something different, moving forward, but that name stuck. And they, I was proud of that. So branding and meeting them where they are. First of all, they were teenagers.
Right.
So everybody's still in school. Everybody still wanted to run track, play basketball, tennis, lift weights, and do all of those types of things. And so you can't, we wanted them to focus in on singing, but not to the point where you miss the golden years of your high school time. So just managing that, helping them with homework as needed.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, to the point where, somebody still called me right now, Miss Fallon, I need a little help with, not in this, I don't need you to do this, but help me proofread this. Can you go over this for me or whatever?
Wow.
Yeah, helping with homework, or, it could be advice on whatever. So I took on the approach as just like a mentor to them as well, like a big sister or auntie, I guess you could say.
That's so dope, man. And one thing I like about it, you really don't have a lot of, seem like I take an old school approach with the artist development.
Yes.
Because most people nowadays, or labels, they expect a package to come already together.
Right. And so understanding the current state of the music industry was what we had to learn. So we went to different conferences, we would travel and just investing a lot of money in. If you're a manager and you have a group or whatever, you have to, most times artists are not going to have the budget.
Right.
So you're going to have to invest your resources to some extent in the group. So
make sure y'all taking lessons.
Yes. So their parents invested a lot.
Okay.
The kids invested a lot. Like, they would go DoorDash so they could have money in the studio. Right. And so that's what people don't see. They see For Washington smiling. They don't know they had DoorDashing together. They worked at Chick-fil-A. You saw us doing the Chick-fil-A jingle went to the Steve Harvey show, but they went and worked at Chick-fil-A to keep it.
Get it how you live.
For real.
See, that's what, so don't get into any specifics, but people that are interested in managing artists and just getting into that whole game, so they may have to be prepared to shell out money up front.
Yes.
To get these artists in position where they want to be.
Right.
And then I'm assuming that contracts come in and you recoup whatever you.
Right.
Okay. Pretty dope. And speaking of Steve Harvey show, the group went viral and was invited out to the Steve show.
Yes.
Which is pretty dope. How was that whole experience?
Oh man, that was one of those.
He just reached out directly.
No, it was his one of his producers.
Okay.
So we were actually in Dallas at that time. I think auditioning. They got invited to audition for something, one of these shows. And while we were in Dallas, that video was trending. Now that video had been out for almost a year, at that period of time. So I guess if I could give some advice, just be patient. It had been out there for almost a year, and so out of nowhere, it just started trending. I'm like, what happened? And it went viral. So, a lot of the different major blogs started sharing it. And while we were in Dallas, the producer from Steve TV show reached out. So I got the email, came to the management email, and I'm like, is this for real?
You thought it was spam?
Yeah, I had to make sure that it was not. So, you click on the actual name and you have to see the domain that the email address comes from so you can verify that this is legit, right? So when I saw the domain, I was like, stop. So I just passed the phone to that mom. I'm like, look at this. So she was like, for real? And they like, what? So read the email. They was like, everybody was like super excited. And I literally cried because I'm like,
as you should.
At that moment, we had, like, prior to that, we had worked so hard. It's a little bit easier for me now because they've learned so much in this process. They're able to do more.
Right.
And I don't have to handle, like, the day-to-day for them.
Okay.
But at that time, it was a lot of money invested. It was a lot of time invested, a lot of practicing, a lot of, on the road, barely getting paid type situations, but just doing it off the strength of trying to build a brand and, just get people to see them. And that moment right there was gratifying. Yeah.
Dope. Did you have other outlets try to reach out afterwards?
Yeah, they ended up doing, it was a smaller outlet. It's kind of like a Nickelodeon. It's called Wonderama TV. We went to New York maybe the month after that show aired and filmed that. So that was an interesting experience. So we went to L.A. and we went to New York.
What is Steve like in person?
Exactly what he said. Like. He's exactly the same, and that's what I really appreciated about him.
Right.
They and his team, they took extra time and they take extra care of the young people to make sure that they felt comfortable. Like they had an on-set teacher because they had to miss school.
Right.
The ones who were still in high school. So the on-set teacher was there. You had a lot of people, just, oh, y'all good? Y'all want some pizza? It was really fun, and he was genuine. And we met him again when we went to the Steve Harvey camp. I think it was July of that year, and he was just the same. And they got another video out there where they were singing the jingle, and Steve was singing with him and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I saw that video. Yeah. Shout out to Steve, man. I'm gonna run into you one day, man.
Yes.
Might even take over your job. Who knows? But you mentioned something that's I think is important in this content-driven world. You said the video was out for at least a year.
Yeah.
And you encourage content creators to be patient.
Right.
What's some tips and techniques that you can give them as far as branding, website, creating content for their platforms, along with being patient, that will help them kind of see a little bit of success on their journey?
Well, I would say figure out who you want to be, and then figure out how you want to be known. Figure out who you want to be first, because a lot of people get it twisted. It's like,
I need to do that.
I want people to know me as this, but I'm like, who are you? Find out who you are and make that work for you.
Okay.
And be that.
Okay.
And then make your content align. Now, of course, you need to make it look as, authentic but professional. So make sure your sound quality is good. If you can invest in yourself, invest in some microphones. Okay. If you can. Learn how to use them. YouTube is probably the
YouTube
best,
University.
The best school
right
right now. So, get some great lighting. Make sure that your videos are high quality and high resolution. Don't put anything dark and fuzzy and unstable, out there. And just make sure that you're representing the best version of yourself, and stick to who you want to be. Stick to that. who you want to be first, then how you want to be known. Like, why are you doing this? And when you know why, everything else becomes easier because you're not having an identity crisis.
Right.
And when you're not consistent and you don't know who you are, the audience is not going to know either. And if you want to work that much more hard to pretend, to be something that you're not, that's going to come back and bite you at some point. You might ride the wave for a little while, but always stick to who you are. And if that's not good enough, that's not the place for you. So make your content based on who you are and what feels good at the core of you.
She preaching this morning.
It's Sunday.
It sure is. But I needed to hear that, though. I think I'm following in the footsteps of who I think I am, my brand. I want it to be totally different from my professional life and just be me on the platform, but still have intelligent, informative conversations with my guests. So I think I'm doing that, but I'm definitely going to take that advice to heart. She knows what she's talking about. As soon as she got on set, she started critiquing.
Oh, my God.
And making sure we had things in the right place. So y'all better listen to it.
I was just asking questions.
No, it's good. It's good information because when it comes to this platform, I'm 100% open to advice, and I'm humble when it comes with it. I love learning new things from new people, so I appreciate it.
Well,
anything I can learn. All the communication strategists, I need everything.
Listen, and I didn't even want to come off like that. I'm an overthinker.
No,
so I just come in like, okay, where do I sit? Which mic? And do you want me to look here or there? Because I'm just
that's how she was. She was just used to, which most guests don't do. So I know she's in the field that she's destined to be in, and we need more educators like that. So I definitely appreciate it. Key to the City podcast. We got the Queen Fallon Victoria with us. You were on the Many Moves panel during Jackson Indie Music Week when I first met you. How was that experience for you?
Oh, man, it opened so many doors. It was fun. I hadn't done anything like that in a while. Not in terms of the music industry. So it was great. And I actually was not supposed to be on there. I was subbing for somebody else. And so I got the call like a day before. And Caroline Cole, actually, she was working with Jackson Indie Music Week, and she said, hey, can you do this? And so I'm like, cool, I'll do it. And it was fun. Like I had a great
definitely
time.
Represented. Had you have you interacted with any of the ladies on the panel? I know Yolanda Singleton does a lot of shows.
Yes, I hadn't talked to Yolanda since then. However, Yolanda and I had worked together, or on some things in the past, and or we've had some meetings before about some stuff. So I was very familiar with her. Definitely kept up with everybody who was on the panel. Danielle was amazing. Rachel, the moderator, we've been in communication, so it's been great. A lot of people that we met during Jackson Indie Music Week festivities, those are some great connections. They led to some great connections.
Facts.
So we ended up doing the premiere yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. So we met Curtis, who is the producer of the film A Day to Die, or one of the producers, and we ended up working the whole premiere for Washington Song, and I did some interviews, and we helped him with some of the behind the scenes stuff with the premiere. So it's been
that's
amazing.
why I tell people you got to get out, man.
You do.
Get out your comfort zone. Rub shoulders with people out here, man. You never know who could take your career to the next level. That's super dope. Are you interested in taking on any more artists?
Well, I normally would say yes, but just because I know how much I would want to give, and how much it takes to really make it great, I don't know. These are like the golden years of my childhood, and so I cannot sacrifice being gone. From being a mother first.
Oh, that's heavy, man. You're not willing to sacrifice that?
No. I mean, if it could be modified in a way to where I could help, that's fine.
Right.
And then I tell Fort Washington this, I have a career aside from management.
Right.
So it's not money driven for me. Like, we do what we do and we keep it business. However, it's not money driven. So that's why I don't have to have a heavy client roster.
Okay.
Because I have some other endeavors, and then I'm a mother first. So yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Because I know some people that try to sacrifice everything now and catch up on the back end, but
yeah, I can't.
Like those golden years, yeah.
I can't miss it. Like
the impressionable years.
Yeah. When my son, I think I started. They've been around him. He's been around them since he was probably 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's 9, about to be 10. And so it was a period of maybe 2 years when we were just grinding it out. And I looked up, I'm like, oh, my baby is tall, and you know, he is changing, and I'm missing it a little bit, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. I think I'll turn down a lot if it meant sacrificing some with the kids, especially at this stage when they're small and growing.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with you there. As far as your whole entrepreneur pursuit, everything you have going on professionally, I like to ask whether they're artists, entrepreneurs, whatever you're doing, like what's the definition of success for you? Like when will you know that you've reached to where you want to be, you reached the heights that you sought out? You ever think about it?
For me, when I have exhausted every ounce of my potential in every area. So yeah, it's not really a dollar amount on it. It's not a time span on it. But when I have given all that I know that I can give, because you know you reap what you sow.
Okay.
So
facts.
If I give it all, I'll get it back. So when I reach that point, then I feel like I'm successful.
Dope. And you done put me on so much game, you don't even know it. I'm glad you was able to share all the information with me and stop by, man, and just bless our platform. How can people keep up with you and for Washington and everything y'all have going on?
Well, you can keep up with me. I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to do TikTok.
It's rough. If you in your 30s, TikTok, Twitter, you good with Twitter?
No.
I hate Twitter.
I hate social media.
Oh, preach. There you go. That's the thing.
So, you know, you have to use it.
You have to.
But I don't like it. But you can follow me. I try to post. It's me, Fallon V. That's mine. You can follow For Washington at FOUR Washington. Now they out there. They have almost 1 million followers on TikTok. They have almost maybe 200K on Instagram. And yeah, so they're doing big things. And also follow Rita Brent Comedy. I'm doing some things with her.
Shout out to Rita Brent.
Yeah.
I want to have her as a guest.
Okay.
Once I get my new place. I know she's out of state, right?
She is very mobile.
Okay.
Yep. She's very mobile.
Rita, we love to have you here in the city.
I will let her know. I know she's all over the place right now.
Yeah, I know it.
That's my best friend, but we're working.
Oh, yeah? All right. Well, tell her I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Y'all real tight like that. Y'all make sure y'all follow this queen, everything she got going on. Follow Fort Washington. Stream all of their music on all your platforms.
Yes, Hardaway is out now.
Hardaway.
Yep.
We got an album coming?
Yeah, they're working on some stuff. They're working, like, if you hear the stuff that they wrote, I'm like, y'all wrote that, you know. But it's really dope. So I'm excited to just sit back and see with the rest of y'all, because they kind of kicked me out of the create. No, not kick me out, but they, you know, they want to present it at the end and say, hey, look what we made. So I'm
That's
excited.
good. Look at them. They growing up.
Yes, yes.
When y'all get that Grammy, man, don't forget about the little people.
Yeah, they definitely won't. They are great people.
I believe that. I kind of got that vibe from during Indie Music Week. Well, Queen, we support everything you got going on here. We thank you for stopping by and sharing the time with us. You know you got to come back again.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see everything that's planned for you guys in the future. And I know y'all will continue to do great things. And I love to see black queens pushing. I know y'all have a lot on y'all plate, man, and just dealing with society and the perception of black women. That shit just inspires me to see them pushing and not let anything stop them.
Yes. It's interesting. And I would say that, I guess, with black women, I place a lot of emphasis on black men.
Okay, talk to me.
Just because, you know, you may have had a certain type of experience as a woman, you know, or you may have had certain type of family members. You know, it could be an estranged relationship with your father. It could be a heartbreak in your own relationship, or whatever the case may be. But there is some good there.
Facts.
And so you can't allow that to just taint your perception of the whole black race.
Come on, somebody.
In general.
That's preach.
My stance. I ain't trying to tell y'all what to do, but that's my stance. So there's no sour experience that is going to make me talk the black man down. So, yeah.
You know, sometimes.
Oh my God.
I'm just so
Is this
glad
a
you
therapy
it need to be, but I'm glad you said that. And you know, one experience does not define your future experiences. And every black man out here, that is the truth.
It is hard to date and to maintain a suitable, fulfilling relationship when you're always on the go.
Right.
And so I have learned from some experiences, and you know, I'm changing my approach, because for me, family is super important. And so, you know, you want to make sure that you make time for the people that you love, and then you want to identify the people who are supposed to be there.
Come on.
Yeah. So, you know, everything is self-reflection for me at this point. I can't look too hard at what somebody else is doing or not doing. So I look at me all the time. So I would say it may be hard to date at this point, just because I'm focused on bettering Fallon every day and being a great mom.
Perfect advice. Yeah. We'll rock with that. And we'll leave it right there. Yes, this has been a great episode from all aspects. I got a lot of gems today. Hope y'all caught all the keys she was dropping on you. Make sure y'all continue to support everything she has going on. Support for Washington. Support Key to the City podcast. And we love episodes like this, man, where we just have normal conversations and touch our audience. You already know who I am. I'm Keone G, Mr. Key to the City. She is the Queen, Fallon Victoria. This has been another episode of Key to the City podcast. Peace, love, blessings, and we are out.